Have you ever wanted to play a format where Luke and Vader could team up against Han Solo and Boba Fett? In this video I present to you Lake Country, a custom Star Wars Unlimited cube format for 2 players. This is a shared deck, 2 leader, no aspect penalty format. And not just 2 leaders of the same aspect like Twin Suns, but 1 villainy and 1 heroism leader together. Now, how can we have a format where players are drawing from a shared deck with all aspects and is able to play them? And how can we justify having 1 villainy and 1 heroism leader together? As the name implies, at the heart of this custom format is the base, Lake Country. Imagine, if you will, a moment in time, a brief respite in times of war, a location so peaceful that even opposing sides can form a temporary alliance and have a picnic together. With that picture in mind, we're going to envision that for the purposes of this format, instead of Lake Country having no aspect, we're going to pretend it is a multi-aspect base, one that has all the aspects, meaning any card can be played without aspect penalty. Let's take a look at leader selection. Here we've randomly pulled 3 villainy leaders and 3 heroism leaders. First, randomly decide who will be player 1. Player 1 gets first pick. They can choose any leader. In this example, player 1 chooses Darth Vader. Player 2 can now choose 1 villainy and 1 heroism leader. They choose Boba Fett and Han Solo. Now, since player 1 originally chose a villainy leader, they must now choose a heroism leader. They choose Luke. If they had originally selected a heroism leader, then at this point they would have chosen a villainy leader. Each player now has 1 villainy and 1 heroism leader. The 2 remaining leaders are not used for this game and can be returned to the leader pool. Here's what setup would look like. Here's player 1 setup. Here's player 2. You can see that each has their 2 selected leaders with Lake Country as their base. And then for the shared deck, we have the entire shuffled cube set to the side between the 2 players. The cube itself forms the shared deck players will be drawing from. Regarding the size of the cube, it doesn't really matter too much. I designed this as an alternate format to use with my 180 card cube, which results in a 180 card shared deck. You can design a smaller cube with just this format in mind, say a 90 card cube, which would result in a much more focused experience. For larger cubes wanting to adapt this and not have a huge unruly stack of cards on the table, you could pull a subset of the cards to use. The quantity is up to you. The point is that the players should be able to draw and play any card from the cube. Here are the full rules in detail. First, prepare the deck. Start by removing all of the non-main deck cards from your cube, for example if you have any rare bases in your cube, and then shuffle it and set it to the side as one large deck between the players. It will serve as the shared deck. Next, choose the leaders. Randomly select 3 villainy and 3 heroism leaders. Randomly determine a player 1 and player 2. Player 1 gets first pick. They can choose any 1 leader. Player 2 chooses 1 villainy and 1 heroism leader. Then player 1 chooses 1 leader from the other aspect they did not originally choose. This results in each player having 1 villainy and 1 heroism leader. Next, each player gets a Lake Country base. For the purposes of this format, we're going to pretend it has all the aspects, meaning all cards can be played without aspect penalty. Next, randomly determine who begins the game with initiative. Throughout the game, players will draw all of their cards from this shared deck. The player with initiative always draws all of their cards first. Any cards that reference a player's deck instead refers to the shared deck. From here, play proceeds as normal. So there you have it, my custom Lake Country cube format for 2 players. It creates some really interesting games with scenarios you won't see in any other format. It's really easy to set up and play since there's no draft, just choosing leaders. And it's really easy to get games in back to back. You set aside all of the cards used in that previous match, including leaders and main deck cards, then begin a new match by choosing new leaders and continuing drawing from the deck as you last left it. Keep playing until the deck has run out and see which player can win the most games. Let me know what you think of this if you try the format for yourself. What improvements or changes would you make? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe to see more of my Star Wars Unlimited Cube updates, and I'll see you in the next video.